Well, it's finally happened. DC's actually made a good movie, and I am now convinced we have reached the end of days.
The gods gave us many gifts. One day you'll know them all. This is where we keep them.
It's beautiful. Who would wield it?
Only the fiercest among us even could. And that is not you, Diana.
Wonder Woman. So there was a lot going against this movie going into it because, the DCU has been, terrible to say the least. If I recall, the last thing I said about one of their movies with Suicide Squad was, "It's worse than Batman vs. Superman!" How? How is this worse than Batman vs. Superman? So yeah, that. So there was a lot riding against this movie, but all I can say is, it's good. It's really good. I actually kind of love this movie. I thought it was great, and, for those who don't know the plot, it's the origin story of Wonder Woman, or at least I think. I don't read the comics. I don't know how closely this follows the comics, but anyway, general setup. It's about Diana, the princess of the Amazonians. One day she spots a World War I pilot played by Chris Pine, who ends up in her realm, wherever they are. I forget what it's called, but he tells her that the World War I's going on, and she thinks this must be the works of the Greek god Ares, who her civilization is supposed to destroy. So she decides to travel with Chris Pine back to the real world and try to find and kill Ares and hopefully stop World War I from continuing. So that's the general setup of the movie. Let's get into the good and bad of this movie. So let's start off with the good in this movie. Let's just say it how it is. For those who saw Batman v Superman and thought, like I did, wow, that movie sucked, but hey, there was some good parts in that, one being Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, and you were really excited by the idea of her carrying an entire movie. Well, all I can say is she lives up to the hype in this movie. She is fantastic as Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. I loved her performance in this. She's completely badass. She's really charismatic. I'm never a big fan of the fish out of water story because I just find it's just usually the same jokes recycled, but when they do it, I like when they do it this way, unlike with the first Thor movie, in which he's kind of like a dunderhead who's just trying to who doesn't ever really learn Earth's customs. He just kind of experiences Earth. I like it a lot more when it's someone who fully is aware of Earth and their custom. They just haven't really experienced it themselves, and that's what she is here. She's really fun, and she's really fun that way. And I do like the fact that even though she is hell-bent on her mission to destroy Ares, she still has fun with the fact that she's with civilization for the first time, and she enjoys seeing the world for the most part. There's very charming scenes when she has ice cream for the first time. It just makes her so happy, and it's really funny and it's really charming. And like I said, she just kicks so much ass, Gal Gadot, in this movie. So Gal Gadot, like I said, she was fantastic in Batman v Superman. She is fantastic in this. She is honestly one of the best people playing a superhero out there at the moment. So yeah, Gal Gadot, she's just a fantastic performance from beginning to end. But it's not just Gal Gadot, though, who's really good in this movie. Chris Pine as the World War I pilot she finds, he's also great in this movie. He's just as charming and as charismatic as he ever is. So yeah, if you like Chris Pine in the Star Trek reboots, you'll love him in this movie. He's just as good here, and he does share a really great chemistry with Gal Gadot throughout it. So yeah, I really did love watching those two play off each other. They shared a lot of really great and wonderful moments in this film with each other. So yeah, Chris Pine's also great. I just quickly though, I also have to give credit to this movie for being an actually competently made movie. I know that's a crazy thought to say, that I actually have to give credit to a movie for being that, but considering what the last three DC films were, I really feel like I had to mention that this is an actually competently put together movie, because it really could have easily not been, but it is. So and for anyone who's wondering, does this affect my score? I'm upping the points anyway because of the fact it's an actually competently put together film. No, I am not, because I don't give that credit to any other movie for being competently made. But I just feel like I had to mention that for those who are really afraid considering the last few DC films. Also, the action in this movie, it's great. I thought it was just fantastic from beginning to end. All the action, it was well shot, it was impactful, there was great use of the CGI, mixing CGI with Gal Gadot's actual stunt work, or I'm sure that they had stunt women on set for her for certain scenes, but yeah, great use of both practical and actual stunt work and CGI, and like I said, it's well shot, it's well lit, so you can actually see what's going on. I'm like fucking Suicide Squad, Jesus Christ, and but yeah, so action in this movie is great. I do love the fact, like, they do bring up, like, I thought it was kind of a silly idea, like, wait, so Wonder Woman just gonna be, like, jumping around, like, the World War I battlefield, like, with people with assault rifles, like, with just, like, a sword and a shield, like, yeah, they do, and, like, that is how it is, but it's clever, like, there's, like, in most action sequences they go, it's in a very clever way, which is like it just starts off like with like when Gal Gadot would just jump into a room full of bad guys, like it'd all be turning guns on her. Like at first it'd go like really slow mo as if you were it's her trying to take in the room and analyze where everyone is, and then it just goes quickly fast paced as she quickly just brings everyone down, and it's really exciting and really awesome, and it's just so impactful, and it feels great from beginning to end. So the action in this movie is fantastic. And another thing I have to give credit to this movie for, I know a lot of people have been saying, like, a lot of, like, the people who, like, actually are delusional enough to believe that the first three movies were actually well-made and well-put-together films, that they are really annoyed with this movie because they feel like it's just conforming to Marvel by being, like, more upbeat and lively. No, it's not. I would say this is a much darker film than most Marvel films, and it's not just dark like how they darken Suicide Squad, like when they would just do something like this, in which they just turned off the lights, you can't see a goddamn thing. No, that is not darker. I am not doing a darker review right now, I just made the environment darker. It's not a more interesting review, it's just a darker review now. That there's a strong difference between being dark in lighting and dark thematically, because dark lighting is obnoxious because you can't see anything, and dark thematically can be interesting and intense. And it's because unlike something like Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, which have a single interesting thing to say, and like had nothing actually dark in it, it was just as childish as you could imagine. This movie, it's set in World War I, and they do acknowledge the horrors of World War I, which doesn't feel like cheap and like tasteless. Like, they do acknowledge it was like one of the darkest wars in human history, and it's very effective. I do really give credit for them choosing World War I over World War II, because there's a big reason in why most writers, like whether they be like gaming, film, whatnot, TV, they like to go for the Second World War over the first one, which is because with the Second World War, it was a clear case of heroes versus villains. You can easily just say, okay, the Nazis were the villains, the Allied powers, those were the good guys trying to stop the Nazis. That it's very easy to see that. World War I, on the other hand, it was different with the fact there really wasn't like a hero and villain side. It was just kind of just a bunch of countries being like jackasses to each other, and then I know, like, the big thing was so many people in World War I had absolutely no idea what they were fighting for, because really no one was fighting for anything in that war, unlike World War II, and that's why this movie is dark. It's because it has effective and thoughtful dark ideas, and not then just turn the goddamn lights off. And also, this actually really surprised me, this one. The villain was actually really good in this movie. I mean, I know DC has set a very, 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 very low bar with itself between the likes of Doomsday and the Enchantress, but these were the villain. Like, okay, he doesn't have any big interesting. His plan is just kind of want to destroy the world. It's Ares. The villain's is Ares, the god of war. But it's not that though. When he gives his big speech at the end, like saying what he did, like, and explains to Wonder Woman like how he did it, it's actually pretty effective and thought provoking. And you could honestly believe, like, why he would think his plan would work to kind of like, because he's kind of like trying to like corrupt Wonder Woman's mind throughout it, and it is effective when he gives his explanation at the end, and I did really like that. It was actually thought-provoking, which was very surprising. Oh, and even more surprising though, because I was surprised that just in Batman v Superman how they managed to make Wonder Woman come off as serious. Was like that was always one of those characters that I'm like I looked at a picture of her character and then I said when I heard they were gonna make a movie with her and I was like how could they ever make this character serious? It's just too goofy of a design. Like in Batman v Superman, I was surprised. I said no, they actually do make her look really serious, and I thought, and considering they had to make her look serious on the World War I battlefield in this one, it is pretty mind-blowing just how serious they are able to make her, especially when people like I said are like firing assault rifles at her, and she's like running forward with like a shield and sword, and no, they make her serious. They even made the Lasso of Truth look serious in World War I setting, and I just gotta give this movie a lot of credit for pulling that off. Whoever does the costume design for this movie, you deserve an award for this one, because that is truly impressive. Now, I touched on this earlier, but I gotta say this again. I am very happy that this is an actually hopeful movie, and like I said, I know so many DC fanboys who, like, think, like, this is ruining their DCEU, this movie. Like, things like, oh no, like, this is an actual hopeful movie, I just want whatever the hell the first 3 films were going for, with their tone, like, no, this is a hopeful movie, man. Like I said, it's not like Marvel, in which Marvel's a very, like, campy and, like, fun, good time. Like, this was, like I said, this is actually a pretty serious film this is actually a semi-serious film for the most part, but, was actually hopeful, though. Unlike the other DC films, which were just sad, pathetic messes of movies, they were just pathetic, the first 3 DC films, especially compared to this. They were just miserable, sad excuses for entertainment that just... Superman. Superman is supposed to inspire Americans and make them feel proud. Like, he blew up an entire city in the first one. We were supposed to say he was the hero. No. This movie was hopeful. Like, you go through the darkness. You go through the darkness of the First World War with Wonder Woman, but it's the fact that she always remains this beacon of hope throughout, who does actually feels like save the day, unlike make things infinitely worse, like in Man of Steel, or, it actually makes you, it's hopeful. There's a sense of joy throughout it. It makes you, it's powerful and effective that way, so I do have to applaud this movie for being an actually hopeful film. And also, for one last side note, though, I just gotta say this. Thank God this feels like one movie, just one, not like 10 movies, because this movie, it's about one character, just one. No, like, having to set up, like, 50 DC characters and setting up like 50 DC characters while also trying to set up like 10 films by throwing like 50 other plot lines in there. Like, do you remember, like, some of the worst stuff in Batman v Superman was like that hour in the movie that was clearly just meant to set up the Justice League movie and clearly had nothing to do with the film you were watching right now. Like, no, none of that's in here. Everything that happens in this movie, except maybe arguably the 1-minute opening when they tie it to the Ben Affleck Batman in the beginning of it, this all feels like a beautifully self-contained, well-written, well-told origin story for Wonder Woman and nothing else. They do not try to launch, like, 10 other characters. It's not like they try to throw in, like, cameos from The Flash or Harley Quinn or anything like that. No, it is Wonder Woman, nothing else, nothing more. You don't need anything more. You just need this one character, and it feels like an actually competently put-together film and not, like, just a complete mess of cinema like a Batman v Superman was. So, once again, this isn't upping my score because I don't give credit to other movies when they do that, but I give credit to this. I just have to mention that just in comparison to the other DC films since they set such a low bar. But, now moving on to the bad of this movie, because this wasn't a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. I've still failed to see in my mind, a perfect superhero film, because there are some issues in this film. Well, the big one is, it's a slow start, this movie. Like, the beginning of this movie, like, when it's her, and I forget, like I said, I can't, whatever her realm place is called, it's competently made, which is, once again, more than I can say about most of the other DC films. It felt like it's a very competently made, like, beginning, but It starts off just kind of unremarkable. I just kind of sitting there like another origin story, okay. Like, I've never been a fan of the origin story, DC not even DC, just superhero origin story, because they kind of all go the same way, and, when she was there, I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, this is happening, that's happening. Oh, okay, so now you're gonna go. But I'll say this though. When they leave, when she meets Chris Pine and they leave for London, the movie starts getting better, and it just keeps getting better and better as it goes on. Up until the ending, which I thought was truly fantastic. By the time the movie rolled its credits, I was completely invested in it, and I just was in love with this movie by then. But just know that it's a bit of a slow beginning moving. Oh, and also, some of the plot points in this movie just felt kind of odd and out of nowhere. Like, the big one being there's like this side plot with like this woman who makes like a super gas drug that kind of like turns like another character like a super soldier. It kind of never really goes anywhere. Like, it's kind of there, and it never amounts to anything, and honestly, I thought it was gonna be, like, it was gonna involve a reveal with one of the characters, like that gas thing, but it doesn't. It's just kind of thrown in there, and I was just kind of saying there why, and there's, like I said, there's never really an explanation, so some of the plot points don't ever really add up or combine, so just know that. Not everything's to be explained walking into this film, and I highly doubt they just plan to explain it in other DC films. I think this was just a bit of error in the script writing here, so, oh yeah, and quickly though, I just wanted to say this. I really want to say this now. I just want to see in the, Justice League movie now, cause with, Wonder Woman being the the daughter of Zeus, and isn't, Aquaman supposed to be the son of Poseidon? Or somehow attached to Poseidon. Either way, I just want to see a scene with either the Flash or Batman between like Wonder Woman. They're just saying like, wait, so that means the Greek religion is right, and therefore all other religions are wrong, and then be like, yeah, that's pretty much what that means. I just really want to see that. Sorry, just wanted to throw that out there quickly. So to summarize my thoughts on Wonder Woman one last time, the positives: Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Pine and Gadot. Great action, it's effectively dark, and as far as negatives go, it's a slow start, and there's certain plot points that don't really add up, but that's why I am going to give Wonder Woman a very solid 8 out of 10. I love this movie. This is a great movie, and just to give you a point of comparison, I would have given Man of Steel a very solid 4 out of 10. I would have given Batman v Superman a 5 out of 10, and I gave Suicide Squad a 4 out of 10. So this is way better than the other DC films. I love this movie. It's great. Oh yeah, quickly, I just want to throw this out here. After the movie ended, a thought crossed my mind that I just couldn't help but think, you know what's the best way to describe this movie? The first half of this movie is a better Thor movie than the first Thor film was. And the second half of the movie is a better Captain America movie than the first Captain America movie it was. So, yeah, I'd say that's a really great way to describe this movie. So yeah, I love this movie, and I just gotta say, I applaud this movie for being a female-led superhero film. I forget when Iron Man launched, but the fact we are this many years into the superhero craze and it took this long to get a female-led superhero film is truly surprising, and I give DC credit. They beat Marvel to the punch. I mean, Captain Marvel is still like 2 years away, right? Like, no, they beat Marvel to the punch. This is a great female-led superhero film, and I'm so happy about that because I knew if this movie failed critically, like, and financially, but the only lesson studio executives were going to take away from it, like, we're just going to say, wait, maybe this did bad because this was a bad movie. No, it has to be because it's a female-led superhero film, right? No, we can't make any more of those anymore. Those don't sell, but no, this is a great movie, and it's a female-led superhero movie, and I thank DC for making this, and I also love the fact that it's never actually really make anything about the fact she's a woman in this film, besides the fact that she's just a woman and World War One time period in the early 1900s. So, but besides that though, like really nothing's made about it. It just feels like any other superhero origin story, just the fact it's a female superhero instead of a male superhero, so thank you DC for that. But for those who are saying though, oh well, for all the DC fanboys who are saying, wait, this movie was good, that must mean all the other DC films are gonna be excellent and they're gonna finally bring down Marvel. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here, people. We are 1 for 4 at the moment with good DC films. We are 1 for 4. It's quite possible this was just the outlier, and the Justice League is gonna suck. I'll walk into Justice League in November with an open mind. Like, if this movie sucked, like, I know a lot of people, big line in the sand was Suicide Squad. When after that, they just said, any DC film now, I'm just gonna walk into it assuming it's gonna be terrible. For me, I said if this movie sucked, this would be my line in the sand. I would walk into Justice League just assuming it'd be terrible. No, this does not make me think, oh, well, this means Justice League has to be good. No, Marvel has made enough good movies they get that benefit of the doubt anytime I walk into one of their films. But with Justice League, I will walk into it with an open mind because, like I said, we are 1 for 4. It's not like we're like 5 for 2. So just know that. And one last thing though, but if this movie does worse in the box office than Suicide Squad, I'm going to lose that much more faith in humanity. I will. I know a lot of people have lost all faith in humanity concerning what's been going on these past few months in this world, but no, for me, I keep holding on hope, but I will lose just that much more faith if Suicide Squad does better than this, because Suicide Squad deserves to burn. It deserves to burn in hell, especially compared to this film. So yeah, that's just I hate Suicide Squad. I don't know if I made that clear, but I hate it. But so yeah, that was Wonder Woman. Like I said, I love it. Go see it. It's worth it. I love it. YouTube, as always, please subscribe, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.